Hello guys, this is the second part of the video about Entra Permission Management. We will go through practical tests. If you would like to check the product functionalities, please click the pop-up on the screen. So let's go, we will start with the test on AWS identity. If we try to remediate the permissions on the AWS, we can see only the local user. We cannot see the users from the scheme, from the SAML, federated users, only the local users. And what we can do in here, well, comparing to the Azure, we can modify the built-in roles, right? To delete some. But there is also another view where we have the SAML users. And in here, we are able to create something like custom role on Azure, right? If we go to this one, we see that this user was using those kind of roles. If I actually log on with this user to the AWS, I will show you the access I have. So what I'm going to do, I know that this user has access to the IAM Identity Center. I can manage those users, probably at least I can read. Yeah, I have the read permission. And coming back to the Entra Permission Management tool, I will remove. I just give it a shot that one of those are the permissions responsible for reading and doing any write actions, most probably, right? Describing users, so forth, so on. I will delete this just to show you that it will work, right? That I just reduced, narrowed down the access, and I shouldn't have access anymore. Yeah, there are the statements. This is like the scheme of the permissions in the AWS, right? Yeah, but I don't like it. I want just to delete SSO. Okay, and I don't want to touch the statements. I'm not that much familiar with the AWS permissions, so I will just press next. So I believe that the tasks remained, and those are divided into the statements, right? Each statement has the resource tasks, resource actions in the Azure. Let's just proceed. A valid policy name. What is the valid policy name? This one can be good. Yeah, it seems that the policy will be too long. We will have to split it for two policies. Okay, let it be. I agree. Okay, let's wait until they are done. We will have to go to the AWS. I will do it as a root admin. Not on the specific account I'm narrowing the access, but as a root admin, I will set the permissions specifically. Yeah, but what the permission I had. Yeah, I had the role and I was assigned. I will see in a second. Maybe in the meantime I can do this. I can do this in the meantime. I will check my policies, roles I have. I'm assigned to the administrator access role. And I want unassign remove access from this. Instead of this, we will create the customized roles. I believe it will be here. Let's see if the role is already created. It seems it's completed successfully. Great. Let's check it out. On the root, attach policies. I need to enter the exact name. I'm not 100% sure if I'm doing this correctly right now, because it's the AWS, something new for me, but maybe those will be those. No, this will be not this. AWS inline policy. It must be this. Okay, so as the hint, I can check in here. There should be the policy created in here, and I will be able to copy paste from here, I believe. Yeah, great. So I would be able to take it from here, from the IAM. It's the local part of the AWS, but if I want to go to the federation settings for the federation users, I have to do this way. And this will be the next permission, I believe. Yeah, most likely. No need to check. And yeah, name, it's the Amadimo AWS. Let's see, it's being created. So yeah, this is the permission set created. And I would like to assign the users right now. The user we are testing, right? Which will be this one. Great. So what I just did, I just through the EPM narrowed down the role. I just detached the user from the role, attached the policy I've created with the customized permissions, and let's go to our testing account. I'm at AWS and let's refresh the page. Yeah. Okay, it's about the token is invalid because I'm actually positively surprised that it terminated the session, right? And I didn't have to relog. It just happened instantly, right? I have no more access to the AWS of the SSO part, but I will have access for some other functionalities. Let me oh, that makes sense because the role was assigned administrator access. Now if I click here, it will be the test one. Yeah, it took effect quite fast. And now I should be just unauthorized for the EAM. I still have access, but the IAM Identity Center is SSO tool, which I have no more access, right? So we can confirm that in this specific case one, EPM has done good job. Let's go and check out the Azure cases. I have on my lab a pipeline which is automatically making changes from GitHub to the automation accounts, right? There is the source control linked to the automation account. As per documentation, this account needs to have the contributor on each of the automation account. What I wanna do, let's see first what kind of permissions this managed identity use. It seems it use only the one right permission. So as the concept of the tool, I should be able to leave the read access for this resource and allow the high risk permission only for this one, runbooks draft right, and it should work, right? Because this is the concept of the tool, that it will point out the permissions that are being used, especially for the managed identities or the service principals, which do the repetitive actions usually, right? Because you have the pipeline which do the same things unless you change it during some change request, right? Update to the pipeline. So you are aware of those kind of things. How we are going to proceed? I'm going to create the custom role. As mentioned before, unfortunately, I cannot do the role based on the activity of the application. What I did, I just create some. I even didn't create it. I pretended to create the new role, and maybe this is quite too big. Oh, never mind. My goal is that I wanted to get the JSON for creating of the custom role. Then I have it's not the one I want. This is the based on this what I showed you that I pretended to create the custom role. I could just easily paste the content of the JSON from the exemplary activity of the user and modify it. What I wanted to do, I wanted to leave the read-only access to the automation account resource, and as per the logs of the tool, the managed identity was using only this one permission. I have created the custom role before with this JSON payload. Maybe I will show you what this managed identity do actually. If we go to okay. I have the GitHub linked as mentioned, and what I will do from this GitHub repo, I will make a push. I will make a commit on my local repository. I will save it. I will push the change to the remote branch. And we will see in a moment that this managed identity that was linked to the automation account has made actual change on the runbook, right? So yeah, we need to wait. Should be just in a second. Yeah, because it's uploaded. It's uploaded. If we go to the GitHub, we should see that it's pushed already. Yeah, Amadimo test 1, this was mine with the 4 ending. It should automatically synchronize the GitHub code to the automation account. That's the responsibility of this managed identity. Yeah, and we can see that last modified was just a minute ago. It's almost 2 a.m. Right now. And if we go to the activity log, we should also see some actions for this. Even we can, from here, check the event initiated by and specify my managed identity. And we can see what actions have been done. And what I'm afraid right now is that the EPM tool has shown us only this permission, right? The Microsoft Automation Accounts Runbooks draft write. As we can see in here, there is also some kind of another permission. Microsoft Automation Account Source Control write. This is not included in the EPM tool. If we go in here and check even if there is any automation account, okay, this there is even no in the database of the tool. The tool doesn't know about this kind of operation, right? Which is definitely being used. But let's see, maybe, I hope, because this is the goal of the tool, that we should be able to do those kind of actions, right? To narrow down the accesses for the least privileges. It should support it. Maybe this one was not that important and pipeline will not crash. What we will do is that we will go to the permissions of the managed identity I'm speaking about. We will remove these permissions, those roles, from each of the automation account. We will remove it, all contributors. And what I prepared, instead of creating the for the each resource for each other automation account, like it was before with the contributor, like there, I just created on the subscription level. And yeah, I will assign this permission right now. Unfortunately, it doesn't update instantly on the EPM end. So maybe I will just go to the subscription in Azure, so it will be faster. And I will assign the previously created custom role. What is this? It's JSON. I want to see the scope. Yeah, it's on the description base, so it's great. This is what I want. Okay. So let's give it maybe max 1 minute. What we just did, we just narrowed the access with we had the monitoring on the EPM tool for 1 month in this scenario. I have triggered like multiple times this pipeline, and now I will also try to make let's call it final test EPM. I will say, okay, so let me commit to my GitHub. That's it, push. And now let's see what happens. We can open the automation account and logs. So in here we should see it was 1:49 a.m. Now it's 1:56. It should change in a second. In the meantime, we can also check the activity log if there were any errors maybe thrown. Hopefully not. Oh, okay, it's 7 minutes ago. Let's wait for the most recent one. Yeah, I think I will stop the video and let you know about the results in a second. Okay, so I waited with this check for the next day, but unfortunately, as we can see, pipeline has been crashed. No update has been made. Update was made on 1:56 a.m. yesterday. Today, nothing changed. As we can see in the runbook, we have this value on the second line. In the repo, there is this value which should be synchronized to the runbook. Pipeline has been crashed. Source control is dead. We could notice the error about this action after narrowing down the accesses. If you went to the jobs, we can see in the done jobs on the timestamp we tried to run the source control. It was failed, saying that the contributor role is required, even though that EPM tool showed us only one permission that needed to remain in order to be able to proceed with the manage identity job, the recurring job. What I also noticed is like if we use this command, get AZ provider operation, we can get the actions like the EPM is using. You can list all the actions through separate resources like Microsoft Automation. But in this specific scenario, if we try to find the role from here that we could notice in the activity log, this one you also will not see in through this commandlet. So it's like this commandlet, and most probably also the EPM tool has the database of the, let's call it, basic actions. There might be some additional actions, and most likely EPM is not tracking this, but it's also not an excuse, because it most possibly have access to activity log, right? And if we can see that the specific identity was using this action, it should warn us in the tool, give us some notification. Come on, there is another action that is out of our database. Be careful while narrowing down accesses, right? Something like this. But unfortunately, it was not. It was missing. So after the final test, it's hard to speak about the advantages of this tool. But let's suppose that those will be the advantages if the product would be finished. It's for sure the handy tool for creation of low privileged custom roles based on the historical activity of the users. It works well also for manage identities service principles, and monitoring the reports are quite nicely configurable. You can, for instance, monitor the PCI, the risky index of the permissions visible in the tenant. There are the reports with for the over provisioned users, for the inactive users, applications, so forth, so on. So yeah, that's it. For the cons, it's of course that product seems to be unfinished. It doesn't track every permission that identity performed. Risk of revoking the accesses that shouldn't be removed, right? Like it was in my test for the source control. Pricing, I will leave it without the commentary. About the next drawback is that there are almost no functionality for Entra ID administrative roles, right? It's mostly focused, actually totally focused. This what it includes about the Entra ID administrative roles is like nothing. It focuses only on the airbag roles for the resources. Autopilot feature, and we can create the recommendations, but only the user who created the rule can generate the recommendation and then apply those recommendations. My suggestion would be to allow the controller to permission to do those kind of actions. Next one is about the group names. If we change the group name on the Entra ID, it will not be synchronized to the EPM. I'm talking about the built-in permissions of the EPM tool. If you add the group in the EPM tool in here and then change the group in the Entra ID, it will not synchronize. The name will be obsolete. Focuses mostly on the create, update, delete rather than narrowing read accesses also. Yeah, it's understandable that the create, update, delete are the most critical, right? But in the least privilege access tool, I would like to see the read accesses also to be narrowed, or more functionality to track read accesses. It's problematic for service principals that do actions not that often as at least once per 90 days, right? Because the history of the logs of the operations is quite small. I would lastly want to show you the foundations of the custom tool that you could create instead of the EPM. For sure, you can monitor activity logs. You can implement log analytics, which will extend the history. It will you will be able to store the logs for longer than last 90 days. Um, yeah, in here we can see that um, in activity log there was actually this operation that EPM didn't pick up. It doesn't show in the EPM, right? So if you store the history of this, you could know that there is some additional action, not only the one that this one, right? But also the one that was missing. Um, Additionally, you can use the Azure REST API, management Azure.com, and you can extract, for instance, the roles, the role names, and the scopes, actions in the specific roles. You can also check for the roles assignments within this API. There are also the commandlets in the PowerShell. So if you know the PowerShell and log analytics, you should be able to create some custom tool, at least some foundations, right, of this EPM tool. Okay, so it will be the end of the demo. It was an interesting topic in my opinion. I hope that somebody also finds it interesting. It took quite long, but it was extensive. The EPM tool has a lot of functionalities, a lot of tabs to check and to show you. There will be the chapters in the videos, so you can skip between what fits you. I will also include some code and materials I've been using during the testing to the GitHub repo. It will be in the description of the video and the documentation also. Thanks guys for watching and hope to see you soon, I guess. Cheers.